to force yourself to take action. Push yourself to begin even when you're exhausted, demotivated, and filled with uncertainty, because nobody ever transformed their existence by waiting to feel prepared. Movement creates the existence you desire, while hesitation only generates remorse. Compel your mind to concentrate and your body to comply, even when nothing within you feels ready. You don't require the flawless strategy. You require taking the first imperfect move. When you compel yourself to take movement despite anxiety, exhaustion, or uncertainty, you discover a version of yourself that would have remained concealed forever if you continued waiting to feel prepared. What if the sole obstacle standing between you and the existence you desire is the movement you're avoiding? What if you ceased waiting to feel prepared and compelled yourself to accomplish what requires completion right now? How many additional dreams will you postpone because you're trapped in your thoughts creating justifications or waiting for flawless timing? Taking movement isn't about motivation. It's about making a choice and executing even when it's uncomfortable. You don't need to feel inspired. You simply need to advance. In this presentation, you'll discover how to break through laziness, self-questioning, and anxiety by compelling yourself to take movement even when you don't feel inclined. You'll uncover genuine strategies to push past opposition and begin building the momentum that transforms everything. If you're exhausted from being trapped and prepared to take command of your habits, your mindset, and your future, then let's begin. Strategy 1. Establish a timer and begin with just 5 minutes. Most individuals don't fail because they lack capability. They fail because they never commence. They remain there day after day, trapped in the identical position, thinking about what they should be accomplishing, what they could be achieving, and what existence might resemble if they actually took movement. But they don't advance. They wait. They postpone. They allow anxiety, comfort, and the magnitude of the task to freeze them in position. They continue searching for motivation as if it'll walk through the entrance and carry them forward. And while they wait, their dreams drift increasingly distant. You don't require a burst of energy. You don't need to feel prepared. You don't even need to figure everything out before you commence. What you require is to advance, just slightly, just enough to cross that initial barrier. And you accomplish that by reducing the standard, not lowering your expectations, but reducing the pressure. Forget about completing everything. Forget about finishing. Just concentrate on the initial 5 minutes. That's all. Establish a timer. 5 minutes. Begin. You'd be surprised how different your existence could appear if you just made 5 minutes matter. When individuals hear this, they usually think it's too insignificant to matter, but it's not about how long you work, it's about beginning. Because when you commence, something shifts within you. You interrupt the cycle. You disrupt the waiting game. You stop planning and you enter the realm of doing. And that's where advancement lives. That's where confidence builds. You don't discover your power in the perfect plan. You discover it in the smallest movement. Position yourself in front of your objective, whether it's writing, studying, exercising, organizing your space, anything. And your brain will tell you how challenging it's going to be. It will exaggerate. It will remind you of how exhausted you are, how long it's going to take, how far behind you've already fallen. And if you listen to that voice, you won't advance. But when you say only 5 minutes, you don't argue with your brain. You don't give it space to panic. You just act. Establish a timer. 5 minutes. Make it real. Make it count. Not pretend movement. Not scrolling while half working. Focused. Fully present. It's not just about the work. It's about what it accomplishes to you. That timer becomes a signal. It's a promise to yourself that says, I'm not waiting another day. And when the timer sounds, guess what happens? Most times you won't want to stop. That's the secret. It's never been about motivation. It's momentum. 5 minutes builds momentum, and momentum can transform everything. You can sit around all day hoping your feelings will change. You can wait for the right mood, the right weather, the right opportunity. But days turn into weeks, weeks into months, and you look back filled with regret. You wonder where all the time went. The truth is, most individuals lose their future in those small daily choices. Those moments where they said, "I'll do it later." They lost their chance not because they couldn't accomplish it, but because they wouldn't begin. Beginning is always the most challenging part, but 5 minutes. You can survive 5 minutes of anything. You can accomplish 5 minutes exhausted. You can accomplish 5 minutes frustrated. You can accomplish 5 minutes even when you're not in the mood. That's what makes it powerful. It's not asking for your best, it's asking for any effort. That's how you train your mind. That's how you become someone who executes. Not all at once, not in big leaps, but through small, deliberate steps. The individuals who succeed in existence aren't the ones who feel inspired constantly. They're the ones who learn how to advance when they don't feel like it. They understand that movement leads and emotion follows. They use structure instead of relying on chance. A timer might feel like a small tool, but it can be a powerful weapon against procrastination. It creates urgency. It gives you a clear boundary. And once you begin, the fog lifts. Your thoughts get clearer. The anxiety shrinks. And the movement becomes real. Your brain loves comfort. It wants you to stay where things feel familiar. But comfort doesn't build anything. It doesn't push you. It doesn't grow you. It just keeps you trapped. You weren't made to stay trapped. You were made to build something meaningful. But you don't build a meaningful existence in giant leaps. You build it in daily efforts. And that effort begins with 5 minutes. There will be days when you're exhausted, days when nothing feels right, days when you want to shut down. That's not the time to give up. That's the time to show yourself who you really are. That's when you say, just 5 minutes, because even on your worst days, you have 5 minutes. And if you can give yourself that much, you keep the flame alive. You keep showing up. And that consistency will carry you to places you never imagined. Don't try to be perfect. Don't wait until you have all the answers. Establish the timer. Begin the work. Let the act of showing up be your victory today. Let the habit grow from that small beginning. Great change doesn't happen in a single moment. It grows from simple movements repeated with commitment. And the first movement, the one that unlocks the rest, is 5 minutes. Nothing fancy. Nothing overwhelming. Just a timer and a choice to advance. What's waiting for you on the other side of that timer? Relief, clarity, progress, pride. You won't discover those things sitting on the couch thinking about how much you wish things were different. You discover them by standing up, establishing the timer, and getting to work. No one else can accomplish it for you. No one else can make that choice. But once you choose it, once you prove to yourself that you can take control, it gets easier to accomplish it again tomorrow. Take the pressure of. Stop worrying about how much you have to accomplish. Stop drowning in the big picture. Break the pattern. Establish the timer. 5 minutes. That's your only job. And when you accomplish that, when you really show up for yourself in that small window of time, you begin to rebuild your belief. You begin to create proof that you can be disciplined, that you can be focused, that you can be the kind of person who gets things accomplished. This is how real change begins, not with hype, not with feeling like a superhero, but with a timer and a choice to begin. Strategy 2. Break large tasks into small daily movement steps. There is a common problem that keeps most individuals trapped and overwhelmed. They look at a large objective or a huge project, and their mind instantly feels crushed by the magnitude of it. The mountain looks too tall, the path too long. They want to accomplish it all at once, or they want to wait until they have the perfect conditions. But the truth is, no one ever climbed a mountain in a single leap. No one ever built a business or changed their existence by trying to accomplish everything at once. The reason most individuals fail is because they try to swallow the whole elephant instead of eating it, bite by bite. Large tasks have a way of paralyzing the mind. They create a fog that feels impossible to cut through. The brain doesn't like that kind of pressure. It wants to break things down into manageable pieces. That is where success begins. When a large objective is broken down into daily steps, it stops feeling like a burden and starts feeling like a journey. Small steps become manageable, achievable, and even exciting. Each step completed is a victory, a proof that progress is happening. The secret to compelling yourself to take movement on something huge is to focus only on what you can accomplish today. Not tomorrow, not next week. Today. It's about identifying one or two simple, clear movements you can take in the next 24 hours that move you closer to your objective. When you see your task in small, actionable chunks, it becomes much less scary. It becomes something you can handle, something you can control. When you control your work, your confidence grows. When your confidence grows, your movement grows. The problem is, most individuals treat their large objectives like a huge demand on their time and energy. They expect themselves to produce massive results immediately. They think that if they are not accomplishing something big and dramatic, they are wasting time. But that mindset is a trap. Real progress is built on consistent, small, daily movements. Those movements add up over days and weeks. They become momentum. Over months and years, they become transformation. Begin by writing down the large objective. Then ask yourself, what's the smallest possible step you can take today to advance forward? Maybe it's drafting a single paragraph if you want to write a book. Maybe it's organizing one file if you want to clean your office. Maybe it's calling on person if you want to grow your network. When you narrow your focus to just one small step, you strip away the anxiety and the overwhelm. You give yourself permission to just accomplish that one thing. It's manageable, clear, and simple. Once you complete that step, the next day you pick another small step. It may be slightly bigger, or just a repeat of the previous step. The key is that you build habit and momentum. These small movements repeated day after day become unstoppable. The brain begins to expect movement, the body gets into a rhythm, the mind stops resisting and starts cooperating. Breaking large tasks into daily steps also gives you a clear way to track your progress. Instead of feeling lost in the vastness of the objective, you see tangible results each day. Each step completed is evidence that you are advancing forward. This feeling of accomplishment sparks motivation to keep going. Progress creates energy. Energy creates progress. It's a cycle you want to create in your existence. When you divide your large task, you also reduce the risk of procrastination. Procrastination thrives on overwhelm and confusion. It grows when tasks feel too large or unclear. Small steps are clear and simple, so your mind has no reason to delay. The path is laid out in front of you, one piece at a time, and that clarity makes it easier to act. This strategy also helps to build discipline. Discipline is not about huge, dramatic efforts. It is about commitment to daily practice, no matter how small. When you commit to showing up every day and completing your small step, you develop a powerful habit. Habits are the foundation of success because they automate your progress. Once the habit is in place, your brain stops debating whether to act or not. Movement becomes automatic. This approach is also psychologically rewarding. Each small success releases a bit of dopamine, the brain chemical associated with pleasure and motivation. This chemical boost helps reinforce the habit of taking movement. Over time, your brain starts craving these small wins, making it easier and easier to keep advancing forward. Large tasks often scare individuals because they seem like they require extraordinary effort or talent. Breaking the task into daily movements removes that pressure. It shows you that what matters is not accomplishing everything today, but making consistent progress. This is a reality check many individuals need. No one achieves greatness by waiting for the perfect moment or trying to accomplish everything at once. They accomplish it by showing up day after day and accomplishing what they can. There is also an important emotional benefit to this approach. When you break a large task into small steps, you avoid the feeling of defeat that comes with staring at a huge to-do list. You reduce frustration. You reduce anxiety. You create a sense of control and purpose. That emotional state is vital for long-term success because it keeps your spirit strong and your focus clear. Large objectives have a way of tempting us to quit before we begin. We think that if we cannot accomplish it perfectly, or if we cannot accomplish it all, then why bother at all? This black and white thinking kills progress. It ignores the fact that every journey begins with a single step. The key is not the magnitude of the step, The key is taking the step. Breaking things down makes it easier to take that step again and again. When you break large tasks into small daily movements, you also create a structure for accountability. You can easily see what you have accomplished and what you still need to accomplish. This makes it harder to avoid movement because the path is clear. You can measure your own progress. You can celebrate your own wins. This visibility is a powerful motivator. Another advantage is that small daily steps allow for flexibility. Existence will throw distractions, emergencies, and setbacks. But when you work in small chunks, you can adjust without losing everything. You can scale up or down depending on the day. You can pause and restart without feeling overwhelmed. This adaptability is crucial for maintaining consistency over time. When facing a large task, it is easy to get stuck in planning and preparation. Individuals can spend days or weeks researching or waiting for the perfect conditions. But movement is the antidote to anxiety and doubt. Breaking large tasks into daily steps compels you to take immediate movement. It stops endless planning and begins progress. Every great achievement in history is built on small movements compounded over time. No matter how large or complex the objective, it is the daily consistent work that creates results. Whether it is building a company, learning a new skill, or improving your health, success comes from persistence in the little things. You can compel yourself to take movement by committing to just one small step every day. It will be uncomfortable at first. Your mind will resist. Your emotions will pull you back to old habits. But keep going. Each day you complete your step, you prove to yourself that you are capable. You build trust with yourself. And that trust is the foundation for bigger efforts. This approach teaches patience and perseverance. It shows that progress is not instant. It requires daily dedication. But when you stick to it, the results come. You build momentum that carries you forward, even when motivation fades. You develop a rhythm that makes movement natural and expected. Strategy. 3. Eliminate distractions before beginning. Any focused work distraction is the enemy of movement. It sneaks in quietly and steals your energy, your time, and your focus without you even realizing it. Most individuals want to get things accomplished, but their environment is working against them. Phones buzz, notifications pop up, background noise fills the room, and the mind jumps from one thought to another. When you try to begin a task surrounded by distractions, your brain struggles to stay engaged. You feel scattered, frustrated, and exhausted before you even make a dent in your work. This is a reality millions face every day. They want to advance forward, but their surroundings keep pulling them back. The first step in compelling yourself to take movement is to recognize how much distractions are holding you back. They are not just small annoyances. They are powerful roadblocks that drain your willpower. Each time you stop what you are accomplishing to check a message or glance at a notification, your brain loses focus. It takes time to get back on track, and these interruptions add up. By the end of the day, what should have been productive hours become a scattered mess of unfinished tasks and wasted potential. If you want to make progress, you have to create an environment that supports your focus. That means removing anything that tempts you away from your work. It sounds simple, but it requires discipline and planning. Turning off your phone notifications is a beginning. Putting your devices on silent or in another room helps avoid the constant lure of distractions. Closing unnecessary tabs on your computer keeps your screen clear. Even tidying your workspace can make a huge difference because clutter messes with your mind. When your environment is clean and organized, your brain can zero in on what matters. Many individuals underestimate how much their surroundings affect their ability to concentrate. A noisy room, television in the background, or constant interruptions from others can destroy any chance of deep work. This kind of fragmented attention is exhausting. It creates mental fatigue and reduces your capacity to produce quality results. If you truly want to compel yourself to take movement, protect your time and mental space fiercely. Treat it like a valuable resource because it is. This also means setting boundaries with individuals around you. If you live or work with others, explain your need for focus time. Ask for their support and understanding. Arrange specific hours when you are not to be disturbed. This creates a mental permission slip for you to focus without guilt or distraction. Without these boundaries, your energy will be pulled in many directions, making it nearly impossible to build momentum. When you prepare your environment properly, beginning a task becomes easier. Your mind is not resisting constant interruptions. You can enter a state of flow where your work feels natural and almost effortless. This state is where your best ideas come, where progress accelerates, and where movement becomes a habit. But flow requires a distraction-free zone. You must protect that zone fiercely if you want to see real results. Eliminating distractions is also about controlling your own habits. Social media and entertainment are designed to grab your attention and keep it. They create artificial rewards that hijack your brain's focus. It takes awareness to notice when you are slipping into these traps. Once you recognize this, you can decide to act differently. Turning off alerts, setting specific times for social media, or using apps that block distractions during work hours are practical ways to regain control. This is not about denying yourself pleasure or relaxation. It is about making choices that serve your bigger purpose. When you remove distractions during work time, you free yourself to be fully present. You give your mind a chance to focus deeply and produce meaningful work. You build momentum and confidence with every distraction-free session. That confidence motivates you to keep going. Another key is to prepare everything you need before you begin working. Gather your tools, materials, and information ahead of time. When you have to stop to search for something, you break your focus. Those interruptions can be the difference between completing a task or abandoning it halfway. Planning ahead reduces friction and makes it easier to keep advancing forward. Distractions also breed procrastination. When your environment is cluttered and noisy, your brain looks for an escape. It finds any excuse to delay work. This is why removing distractions is a direct way to fight procrastination. When there is nothing else pulling your attention, you have no choice but to engage with your task. The resistance that usually stops you begins to fade. Most individuals overestimate their ability to multitask. They think they can juggle checking messages while working, or listen to music with lyrics while reading. But research shows that multitasking reduces productivity and impairs learning. It leaves you feeling scattered and drained. To compel yourself to take movement, you need to commit to single tasking in a distraction-free environment. Focus on one thing at a time. Give it your full attention. That is where real work happens. Creating a distraction-free environment is also an act of respect for yourself and your objectives. It sends a message that your work matters, that your dreams deserve your full attention. When you treat your time and energy as precious, you begin to value your potential more. This shift in mindset can be a game changer in how consistently you take movement. Sometimes eliminating distractions requires physical changes. Maybe you need to work in a different room or a quiet corner. Maybe you need to use noise-canceling headphones or play soft instrumental music. Maybe you need to schedule your most important work during times when interruptions are less likely. These practical adjustments create a space where your mind can focus deeply and your movements become more productive. Distractions do not just come from outside. Internal distractions like worries, doubts, or negative thoughts can also pull you away from movement. When your mind is cluttered with what-ifs and anxieties, it becomes harder to focus. To combat this, practice mental preparation before work. Take a few moments to breathe deeply and clear your mind. Remind yourself of your purpose and your next step. This mental reset helps you enter work with clarity and determination. Remember that every distraction you remove increases your chance of success. Every interruption you avoid protects your momentum. Every moment of focused work builds your confidence. This cycle compounds over time, leading to massive growth. It is not about working harder or longer. It is about working smarter and with full attention. If you want to compel yourself to take movement, begin by taking control of your environment. Make it a place that invites focus and supports your objectives. Remove the noise, the clutter, and the interruptions. Create boundaries that protect your time. Prepare your tools and mind before you begin. When you accomplish this, you create the conditions for success. You make it easier to begin, easier to continue, and easier to finish. No matter how big your objectives are, distractions will always be present. But you have the power to decide what deserves your attention. You have the ability to guard your focus fiercely. You have the strength to remove what pulls you away from movement. Use that power. Make your environment your ally. When you accomplish this, you will find it easier to compel yourself to take movement. Your results will improve, your confidence will grow, and your dreams will become closer to reality. Strategy 4. Remind yourself why this movement truly matters. There is a simple truth that almost everyone forgets when they struggle to take movement. They lose sight of why the task is important to them. When the reason behind the work becomes unclear or distant, motivation vanishes. The mind begins to wander, doubts creep in, and excuses appear. Without a powerful purpose to fuel your effort, movement feels pointless or burdensome. This is why so many individuals begin strong, but quickly fade away. They did not anchor their movements in a deep enough why. If you want to compel yourself to take movement, understanding and constantly reminding yourself why your work matters is essential. The hardest moments often come when you feel exhausted, distracted, or discouraged. In these times, the memory of your objective alone is not enough. You need to connect with the real meaning behind the movement. Why are you accomplishing this task? How does it fit into your larger dream? What impact will it have on your existence or the lives of others? These questions are not abstract. They are practical tools that can reignite your drive when everything inside you wants to quit. Many individuals chase objectives that come from outside pressures. They accomplish something because they feel they should, or because others expect it. But when the motivation is external, the movement is fragile. It depends on approval or reward rather than inner conviction. True, lasting movement comes from within. It comes from a deeply personal reason that touches your emotions and values. This reason can be a desire for freedom, security, respect, or growth. It can be a promise to yourself or a responsibility to someone you love. Whatever it is, it must be clear, honest, and compelling. You can begin by writing down your reasons. Make a list of all the benefits that will come from completing the task. Think about how your existence will improve, how your feelings will change, and how your identity will shift. Imagine the relief, the pride, or the joy you will feel when you take movement. This exercise helps to create a vivid picture of success that your mind can hold on to. It moves the task from something abstract to something real and urgent. It is also important to revisit these reasons regularly. The mind has a way of forgetting what matters when existence gets busy or difficult. By reminding yourself often, you keep your purpose fresh and alive. You keep your emotions engaged. This emotional connection is critical because emotions drive behavior far more than logic. When you feel connected to your why, your brain releases chemicals that energize you. You become more resilient and focused. Sometimes the reasons behind your movement will involve sacrifice. You may need to give up comfort, leisure, or instant gratification. This can be hard to accept, but when your why is strong enough, it makes these sacrifices meaningful. You see them as stepping stones rather than obstacles. The pain becomes temporary and worthwhile. The struggle turns into progress. On the other hand, if you cannot find a meaningful reason to accomplish something, it might be time to reconsider that task or objective. Not every objective is right for every person. If the why is weak or unclear, compelling movement becomes a heavy burden. In that case, it is better to pause, reflect, and choose a path that truly matters to you. Otherwise, you risk burning out or feeling stuck. Another key is to connect your daily movements to your identity. Ask yourself, who do I want to become by accomplishing this work? When your movements reflect the person you aspire to be, they gain more significance. You are not just completing tasks, you are shaping your character and your future. This mindset shifts movement from obligation to opportunity. It helps to visualize the outcome regularly. Picture yourself having achieved the objective. Notice the details, what you see, hear, and feel in that moment. This mental rehearsal prepares your mind and body to advance toward that reality. It makes the movement less abstract and more tangible. It also strengthens your belief in your ability to succeed. Anxiety and doubt can cloud your reasons, making them seem less important. When you feel discouraged, go back to your core why. Let it remind you of your strength and purpose. It is the anchor that holds you steady in the storm. Without it, the waves of uncertainty can sweep you away. Sharing your reasons with someone you trust can also help. Talking about why you want to take movement reinforces your commitment. It creates accountability and encouragement. When others understand your why, they can support you in moments of weakness. This social connection is a powerful motivator. The world is full of distractions and excuses that try to pull you away from your work. But your why is the shield that protects you. It keeps you focused and determined. It reminds you that every small step counts. It transforms ordinary tasks into meaningful progress. You can compel yourself to take movement by reconnecting with your reasons every day. Let your why be the light that guides you through resistance. Let it be the voice that pushes you forward when your body wants to stop. Let it be the fire that burns away doubt and anxiety. Taking movement without a clear why is like walking without direction. You may advance, but you will feel lost. Taking movement with a strong why gives you purpose and power. It turns forth into achievement. Remember that your reasons may evolve over time. Existence changes, and your objectives may shift. That is normal. Stay in touch with your why and adjust it as needed. This keeps your motivation alive and relevant. In the end, reminding yourself why your movement truly matters is the foundation of lasting success. It gives your effort meaning, your struggles purpose, and your victories joy. It is the difference between giving up and pushing through, between wishing and achieving. Hold your why close. Let it drive you. Let it inspire you. Let it compel you to take movement every single day. Strategy 5. Commit publicly to increase personal follow-through. Most individuals want to follow through on their objectives. They have good intentions and strong desires. Yet many fail because they keep their commitments private. They tell themselves they will work harder, be more consistent, or begin tomorrow. But when no one else is watching, it is easy to make excuses or let motivation fade. The truth is that private objectives lack the pressure and accountability needed to turn words into movements. Making a public commitment changes everything. It transforms a simple desire into a promise that carries weight and responsibility. If compelling yourself to take movement feels difficult, sharing your commitment openly can become a powerful tool to push you forward. When you tell others about your objective, you create external accountability. Suddenly, your movements are no longer just for yourself. They become something you owe to the individuals who believe in you or are watching your progress. This adds a level of seriousness and urgency that private thoughts cannot match. You begin to act not just out of motivation, but also out of honor and respect. You don't want to disappoint others, and you certainly don't want to disappoint yourself in front of them. This social pressure drives follow-through like few other things can. Individuals avoid sharing objectives because they anxiety failure or judgment. They worry about what others might think if they do not succeed immediately. This anxiety is understandable, but it also traps them in a cycle of isolation and inaction. In reality, sharing your objectives with the right individuals can bring support and encouragement, not criticism. When you open up, you invite others to root for you. You gain allies who will remind you of your commitment when your own resolve weakens. To use public commitment effectively, be clear and specific about what you plan to accomplish. Vague promises like, "I want to get fit," or "I will work harder," do not hold the same power as, "I will exercise for 30 minutes every morning," or "I will complete one chapter of my book each day." When you state your objectives publicly with details and deadlines, It becomes easier to measure progress. You know exactly what you need to accomplish, and others can see your progress or hold you accountable if you falter. It is important to choose the right audience. Share your commitment with individuals who care about your growth and success. These could be close friends, family members, mentors, or even a community that shares your objectives. When the individuals you tell understand your purpose and encourage you, their presence becomes a source of strength. Their questions, check-ins, or simple reminders can keep you on track. Public commitment also helps fight the common problem of procrastination. When you say out loud that you will take a certain movement by a certain time, you create a deadline beyond your private intentions. This deadline creates urgency. Your brain responds by activating focus and energy. The discomfort of disappointing others creates a stronger push than internal motivational one. You become more likely to begin immediately rather than delay endlessly. One practical way to commit publicly is to announce your objectives on social media. Posting your progress or intentions online exposes your commitment to a wide audience. This can increase motivation because you feel observed. You also invite feedback and encouragement from individuals you may not even know personally. However, be mindful of your audience and remember that the objective is to build support, not to seek approval. Another powerful method is to join or create accountability groups. These groups meet regularly to share progress, challenges, and next steps. Knowing that you will report your movements to group builds pressure to perform. It also creates a shared experience where members lift each other up. This community can provide ideas, advice, and motivation during difficult moments. Writing your commitment down and sharing it with a mentor or coach adds another layer of accountability. When you declare your intentions in writing, it becomes a formal contract with yourself and others. You can refer back to it during times of doubt. This written record reminds you of your promise and the seriousness with which you made it. Committing publicly is not about bragging or showing off. It is about creating conditions that support your success. It is a strategic move that uses human nature to your advantage. Humans are social creatures. We thrive on connection and consistency. Public commitment taps into these instincts to help you follow through. It also helps build confidence. When you keep your promises in front of others, you prove to yourself that you are reliable. This builds trust in your own abilities. Each successful follow-through reinforces your identity as someone who takes movement and achieves objectives. That identity becomes a foundation for even bigger accomplishments. Failures or setbacks in public commitments can be difficult, but they are also opportunities. When you stumble, sharing what happened and how you will adjust can deepen trust and respect. It shows honesty and resilience. Learning to handle public setbacks gracefully strengthens your ability to keep going. Compelling yourself to take movement requires more than just willpower. It requires creating a system that supports movement even when motivation dips. Public commitment is one of the strongest systems available. It changes your mindset from I might to I must. This shift is the difference between wishing for success and working for it. Even small commitments matter. You do not need to announce life-changing objectives to benefit from this principle. Committing to finish a chapter, make a call, or complete a workout session publicly can build momentum. These small wins add up and increase your belief in your ability to take consistent movement. The discomfort that comes with public commitment is a sign you are stepping out of your comfort zone. Growth rarely happens within safety and ease. When you make a promise in front of others, you expose yourself to vulnerability. But vulnerability is the birthplace of courage. Courage leads to movement. Movement leads to progress. Choosing not to commit publicly often keeps individuals stuck in cycles of delay and excuses. The privacy of intentions allows hesitation to flourish. If compelling yourself to take movement feels like a battle, sharing your commitment can be a powerful ally. It shifts the burden from a private struggle to a shared journey. You can begin today by identifying one important movement you want to take. Make a clear statement about what you will accomplish and by when. Share it with someone who will support you. Ask them to check in on your progress. Feel the weight and responsibility of your promise. Let it motivate you to begin immediately. Every time you keep a public commitment, You build trust in yourself and inspire others. This trust is the foundation of real progress. It creates momentum that is hard to stop. Public commitment turns vague intentions into real results. Taking movement is rarely easy. It takes effort, focus, and sometimes sacrifice. But when you commit publicly, you tap into a powerful source of motivation beyond yourself. You create a network of accountability and encouragement. You give your objectives the respect and seriousness they deserve. Holding yourself accountable in public is not about perfection. It is about persistence. It is about showing up consistently even when you do not feel like it. This consistency over time transforms your dreams from ideas into reality. The decision to commit publicly may feel uncomfortable at first. That discomfort is a sign of growth. Lean into it. Use it as fuel. When your commitment is visible, your movement becomes inevitable. Your progress becomes real. Strategy 6. Leverage rewards to strengthen. Daily consistency. Most individuals fail to recognize how powerfully simple incentives shape their actions. When attempting to compel yourself into motion, the mind responds remarkably well to instant positive reinforcement. Without this feedback, drive frequently weakens and attempts become lukewarm or cease entirely. One of the most powerful methods to sustain forward movement and overcome resistance involves linking genuine, concrete rewards to your daily actions. These incentives don't require being elaborate or complex. They simply must be significant enough to ignite desire and strengthen the pattern of daily action. The effectiveness of rewards connects to how the brain's drive system operates. Upon completing a task or following through on your commitment, your mind releases chemicals like dopamine that generate pleasure and satisfaction. These chemicals train the brain to recall what produced those positive sensations and promote repeating the action. By connecting action with reward, you speed up this learning process and simplify maintaining steady effort, even when tasks feel challenging or tedious. Many believe they must await major success before celebrating. This mindset creates delays and frustration. Genuine transformation emerges from small, steady steps rather than sporadic leaps. Each minor victory merits acknowledgement. Building a system of daily or regular incentives redirects your attention from the difficulty itself to the advantage of completing it, making the process pleasant rather than painful. An effective approach involves designing a straightforward system where you earn rewards after completing specific numbers of actions or days of effort. For instance, after finishing 5 work sessions on a project, you might enjoy your preferred coffee or take a brief break doing something you love. After 10 days of maintaining your routine, you could plan a special activity or purchase something small that brings joy. These rewards function like markers that indicate progress and maintain high energy. Another crucial point, rewards must be immediate enough to connect the action and pleasure. If their reward arrives too late, the brain doesn't strongly link it with the behavior. This explains why rewarding yourself immediately after a session proves more effective than promising a larger reward weeks later. Sometimes individuals feel guilty about rewarding themselves for work they believe they should suffer or sacrifice endlessly before deserving enjoyment. This mindset often backfires. When you deny yourself simple pleasures, your brain connects effort with pain, making starting or continuing harder. Allowing small celebrations creates positive emotional experiences that support long-term consistency. Rewards can take various forms depending on what matters to you. A quiet relaxation moment, a favorite snack, an outdoor walk, listening to good music, or chatting with a friend. The key is that the reward feels genuinely satisfying. When it does, it becomes a strong magnet drawing you toward action, even on low motivation days. To make rewards effective, you must avoid using them as excuses to slack of. The reward isn't a way to justify skipping work or cutting corners. It's a prize for genuine effort and commitment. This distinction keeps your progress honest and sustainable. Visualizing the reward in advance can boost its effectiveness. When you imagine the pleasure you'll experience after completing work and enjoying the reward, your brain gets a preview of positive emotions. This preview serves as motivation to start and finish tasks. creating anticipation that energizes you into motion. As you build the habit of pairing action with rewards, your brain will crave both the work and pleasure. Over time, this rewires your relationship with effort from resistance to attraction. You begin expecting good feelings after showing up, which naturally strengthens commitment. Rewards don't always need to be material or time-based. They can be social or emotional, praising yourself for effort, sharing progress with supportive friends, or recording accomplishments in a journal. These practices create pride and satisfaction that fuel continued action. In contrast, the absence of rewards or negative self-talk can quickly weaken motivation. If you constantly criticize yourself or ignore small wins, you create a hostile and discouraging mental environment that drains energy and makes forcing action much harder. Practicing kindness and recognizing progress fosters a mental state conducive to persistence. When rewards become routine, you create a positive feedback loop. Action leads to reward, which leads to more action. This loop becomes self-sustaining and transforms forcing action from a battle into natural flow. Instead of relying on willpower alone, you harness the brain's natural learning system. Strategy 7. Tackle your most challenging task. First, daily. There's a universal struggle almost everyone encounters. When starting your day, you often feel drawn toward comfort or avoidance. The mind naturally seeks the easiest path to avoid discomfort or stress. The most difficult task usually carries the greatest weight, fear, or uncertainty. It's tempting to push it aside, thinking you'll address it later, but typically it never gets done or gets completed with less energy and poorer quality because you've wasted your best moments on easier or less significant things. This pattern represents the greatest enemy of progress and success. The truth is, the hardest task holds the most power to advance your life. It's the task that challenges your limits and requires summoning strength, courage, and focus. Avoiding it feeds procrastination, self-doubt, and frustration. Facing it first every morning rewires your mindset toward discipline and accomplishment. When you tackle that tough task immediately, you disarm the biggest obstacle in your path. You give yourself a profound sense of victory that carries through the rest of the day. It's natural to feel resistance when considering the hardest task. The mind often bombards you with reasons why you can't or shouldn't do it now. It tells you that you need more time, energy, or preparation. That voice is deceptive because it's rooted in fear and comfort-seeking rather than reality. You have everything needed to start right now. Action is the antidote to fear. Movement creates momentum. The first step, no matter how small, weakens hesitation's power. Doing the hardest task first isn't about perfection. It's about progress. Starting imperfectly but consistently builds confidence. The very act of beginning breaks down mental barriers. Once you start, your brain shifts from worry to problem solving. Your energy shifts from fear to focus. You begin seeing solutions and possibilities instead of obstacles. When you complete the hardest task early, your sense of achievement builds a foundation for the rest of your day. You carry this success feeling into other tasks, making them easier and less stressful. The weight that once felt unbearable becomes lighter. You no longer waste mental energy thinking about the difficult task because it's already done. This frees your mind for creativity, collaboration, and other important activities. Conversely, delaying the hardest task causes mental drain that reduces effectiveness all day. You might find yourself distracted, anxious, or overwhelmed by what you've avoided. This affects not only work but also mood and relationships. The longer you wait, the bigger the task grows in your mind. This is why acting early has such powerful psychological impact. Preparing to do the hardest task first requires clearly understanding what that task is. Many people mistake busy work or routine chores for their most important work. Take time to identify which activity will move you closer to goals and challenge you most. Prioritize it above everything else. Treat it as non-negotiable. Creating a routine where you start with your toughest challenge trains your mind and body for discipline. It conditions you to face discomfort head-on rather than avoid it. This discipline becomes a muscle that strengthens over time. You become someone who meets challenges instead of running from them. This quality separates successful people from those who remain stuck. Strategy. 8. Modify your surroundings to trigger rapid action. There's a harsh truth many don't fully recognize. Your surroundings possess more power over your actions than you might realize. When you want to take quick and focused action, the environment either fuels the drive or completely drains it. Many struggle to push forward because their space is cluttered, noisy, or full of distractions. It's a constant battle to stay on track, feeling like an uphill climb every time you try to work. The environment, whether you notice it or not, shapes your mental state and energy. If your surroundings aren't set up to support your goals, your motivation struggles to keep up, no matter how hard you try. It's easy to think motivation comes from within alone. You tell yourself to be strong, resist distractions, push through laziness. While inner strength is important, the truth is, your environment can either make that strength easier to summon or turn it into a constant fight. You want to stop wasting willpower and start using your space as an ally rather than an enemy. When your environment triggers action quickly, it becomes much easier to start and keep going. Your mind learns to associate that space with focus and productivity, creating an automatic response to begin working. Changing your environment isn't about moving to a fancy office or buying expensive equipment. It's about making deliberate adjustments that encourage immediate action. It could mean clearing a desk covered in clutter so your eyes aren't constantly distracted. It could mean turning off your phone or putting it in another room so you're not tempted to check it every few minutes. It might require finding a quiet corner away from others' noise or setting up a specific spot used only for your most important work. These small but strategic changes send a signal to your brain that this space is for focus and action. Many people underestimate how much their physical surroundings influence their mental state. When you walk into a messy room or space filled with distractions, your brain is bombarded with competing stimuli. This overload reduces your ability to concentrate. You might feel overwhelmed before you even begin. On the other hand, a clean and organized space lowers stress and helps you find your rhythm quickly. You waste less time searching for materials or getting sidetracked by random things. Your energy is reserved for the task at hand. Lighting and comfort also play crucial roles in how fast you can act. Working in a dim or uncomfortable place drains your vitality and slows your mind. Bright natural light energizes you and keeps you alert. Comfortable seating and the right temperature make it easier to settle into work without physical distractions pulling your focus away. When your body feels good in your environment, your mind can follow naturally. Strategy. 9. Stop overthinking and move your body immediately. There's a common enemy keeping many people stuck and unable to act: the endless spinning of thoughts that never lead to real progress. Overthinking can feel like a mental storm, waves of doubt and fear crashing non-stop, draining energy and hope. It tricks you into believing action must wait until you feel ready, until the perfect plan forms, or until every detail lines up just right. But reality hits hard. No one ever feels completely ready. The window to start narrows every minute spent caught in that hesitation loop. You can think your way into paralysis or break the cycle by forcing your body to move first. Movement sparks the mind into action. Most people don't realize how tightly mind and body are connected. When your thoughts run wild and stall your progress, your body stays still and tense. Your mind grows more restless, but your body stays frozen in place. This freeze feeds the overthinking cycle. The quickest way out is disrupting that pattern with immediate physical action. You don't need to wait for clarity or confidence. Just begin with any movement. Stand up, take a walk, stretch your arms, or do simple exercises. Moving your body sends a powerful signal to your brain that it's time to switch from thinking to doing. Physical movement triggers chemical changes in the brain. It releases dopamine and endorphins, which boost mood and increase focus. These natural chemicals sharpen your ability to think clearly and reduce anxiety. When you feel stuck in an overwhelming cloud of thoughts, moving can help clear the fog. It's like shaking off mental cobwebs. This physical reset makes your mind more ready to tackle tasks with energy and clarity. Movement also increases blood flow, delivering oxygen to your brain. More oxygen means better brain function. It fuels creativity and problem-solving ability. When you're stuck in overthinking, the brain doesn't get the fuel it needs to work efficiently. Getting your body moving wakes up the brain and prepares it to act. Even a few minutes of motion can spark new ideas and fresh perspective. Strategy. 10. Learn to welcome discomfort to grow beyond your limits. Most people avoid discomfort at all costs. They seek comfort as if it's the ultimate goal. The truth is, uncomfortable moments are inevitable in life. Pain, uncertainty, and struggle are parts of any meaningful journey. The harsh reality many face is that avoiding discomfort leads to stagnation. If you want to grow, you must learn to embrace discomfort instead of fearing it. Growth lives outside the walls of comfort. The natural reaction when discomfort appears is to resist it. You try to turn away from difficult emotions or situations. This resistance may feel like protection in the short term. It numbs the pain and keeps anxiety at bay. But over time, resistance builds walls that trap you in the same place. Growth cannot happen while you hold tightly to comfort. Real progress requires leaning into the discomfort, learning from it, and pushing through it. Life rewards those who take discomfort as a signal, not a stop sign. When faced with fear or pain, you can either let it freeze you or use it to fuel your transformation. Discomfort shows you where your limits are. It challenges you to stretch beyond what feels easy or safe. This stretching is where true growth happens. Without discomfort, you remain trapped by your current abilities and mindset. The biggest mistake is confusing discomfort with danger. Discomfort is often mistaken for harm, so people retreat. But discomfort is simply your body and mind adjusting to something new or challenging. It's temporary and necessary. Danger is permanent damage or real threat. Growth requires navigating discomfort without falling into real harm. This distinction is critical for embracing the process. You cannot grow by staying in the comfort zone. That zone is a trap disguised as safety. Inside it, you recycle the same habits, thoughts, and behaviors. Your skills plateau. Your vision shrinks. When you step outside that zone, you expose yourself to new experiences, ideas, and opportunities. This exposure ignites growth. The discomfort you feel is the cost of expansion. Discomfort also builds resilience. Each time you face difficult moments and push through, your capacity to handle future challenges increases. You become stronger mentally, emotionally, and sometimes physically. This strength allows you to keep moving forward even when things get tough. Resilience isn't something you're born with. It's developed through repeated encounters with discomfort. Embracing discomfort requires a mindset shift. Instead of asking why this is happening to you, ask what you can learn from this moment. This question turns discomfort into a teacher rather than an enemy. It opens the door to curiosity and problem solving. Learning from discomfort transforms setbacks into stepping stones. Every challenge holds a lesson if you're willing to look for it.